What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Leadoff Show. This is Friday, June 16th. I have a 14 game slate today, so only I think the Cubs Orioles game is early. Other than that, we have everybody playing tonight, so got a lot to cover. Hope you all had a good Thursday and enjoyed the double slates. I ended up cashing on the main slate. I had a White Sox stack, and they had a few home runs in that one, but just kind of a min cash. So looking to bounce back tonight. We'll just have to break it down. Just overall, I think so there's maybe looks like decent pitching options across the board. A few at the top, a few in the middle, and a few at the bottom. And then we just have one big decision point. We have Julio Teheran again against the Pirates. So just matter if we believe in what he's actually doing this year, or think he'll regress back to what we've seen of him for the last 5 years. But we'll get to that. Real quick on the weather. The Cardinals-Mets game is the only one we really have concern in. Looks like Roth has that marked for a little bit of weather. This is Tyler McGill versus Miles Michaelis, so probably no interest in either of those guys anyway, so it might not affect us too much. And with those pitchers, they're both kind of maybe the Cardinals, but we're probably out on the Mets anyway, so I don't think we have to worry about weather too much on this slate. We can go ahead and jump right in. There wasn't a delay in this game, was there? Delay possible, but okay. First game is Marlins Nats, 4.73 total for the Marlins, 3.77 for the Nats. Sandy Alcantara, 9.1K versus Trevor Williams, 5.8K. I think I'm probably going to be out on Alcantara. He just has not shown it yet this year. Strikeouts are down. Yeah, down to 21%. Usually his bread and butter is he'll go 8-9 innings, 105 plus pitches. You can see here, only 93 pitches basically in the last month has been his max. Giving up runs, Ks are all over the place. Points, he hadn't been over 20 points since May 7th. I think I'm just gonna be out on Alcantara. So it's a low K matchup too versus the Nats. We saw him just have a good game against Javier, kept him to a low strikeout total, so I think I'm going to be out on Alcantara. As for Trevor Williams, no interest here either. The upside's just not there. I mean, 17% K rate. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything to discuss. I mean, there's just no reason to go there. As for the Marlins bats, it's like Williams is a little bit worse versus righties. That give me a lot of interest in Soler. I think I might be out on a full stack, but I could see going Soler and Jesus Sanchez. I think there's enough big bats on the slate. I mean, we have a 14 game slate, so trying to pick off a few Marlins just doesn't really sound worth it to me. So I think Soler or Sanchez, but other than that, I'm out. As for Washington bats, really no interest. I mean, Alcantara is still pretty good, but I don't think it's worth playing either side of this. I mean, the Nats will put it in play probably. I could see Alcantara going like 6 innings or 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 Ks or something. For that price, I mean, that's probably around the 20-point range or whatever, which we might need more from him. But that really doesn't give me any interest in the Nationals. All right, next game we have Yankees Red Sox. I think we just saw this matchup last week. Domingo Germán versus Tanner Houck. It's even right now, 5 total for each team. Germán versus the Red Sox. He did pitch well versus them last time out. I think he had about 20 points, including the win. His strikeouts have greatly improved. You can see about 5% from last year. I guess he got his sticky stuff mix figured out. Yeah, we're missing one start there against the Red Sox, but I think he had about 20 points. I think I'm going to be out though. 9.9K is tough. I mean, he's more expensive than Kopech, who's facing the Mariners. More expensive than Alcantara. I'd rather play him. More expensive than Yu Darvish versus the Rays. Tough matchup, but still a better pitcher. I think probably just out on Germán. I don't think it's worth it. As for Houck, he pitched well too against the Yankees that same game versus Germán I was talking about. I think he had a good bit of strikeouts. This 18 points. That was without the win, so 6K. So solid performance. I definitely like his price more, 8.8K. But I still don't think it's worth it. This lineup is much worse without without Judge. They're really struggling right now, but I think I'm probably just out. Yeah, about average K rate, 23%. You see Alex sitting right around 23% as well. So I'm probably just out. 8.8K is probably not worth it. If he was like 7 or something, then maybe. But I mean, he's more expensive than Yu Darvish, and that's probably a better matchup, especially for strikeouts. But as for bats, I mean, seeing the same pitcher back to back might help. A little bit of wind out to left field. Probably out on the Yankees bats. They just haven't been playing well. Rizzo would be the only one I have interest in, but he's been really bad lately. Bowers has great numbers. Last 30 days. Yeah, you can see Rizzo last 30 days are just terrible. Bowers 2.7K, I guess, is the only one I'd have interest in for the Yankees. The Red Sox, I mean, I think it's probably the same candidates as usual. I don't see a full stack really necessary. Last 30 days, it looks like Devers is the only one that decided to hit. Ramon's actually pretty good versus lefties though, so keep that in mind if you go there. But I mean, Devers is the only one I'd have interest in. Yeah, definitely not. I don't think I'd go for the full stack though, for sure. All right, next game we got Cardinals Mets. This one is the one that has a good bit of weather concerns. 4.34 total for the Cardinals, 4.16 for the Mets. Miles Michaelis, 7.8K. We've seen him bust out some really good performances at times this year, but I just don't think this is worth it. I mean, you could see sub 20% K rate, low strikeout team over here with the Mets. So just no interest here for Michaelis. Add in the rain concerns, it's just not worth it. McGill, same boat. I don't care what his price is. I'm not playing him. Against the Cardinals, even lower strikeout rate for him, and really. Gorman and DeYoung are the only strikeout candidates in this lineup, and Gorman's arguably been their best hitter this year, so no interest there. As for the bats, I don't love taking hitters in this ballpark. 69 degrees, wind blowing in, rainy. Probably just out. Looks like McGill has decent ISO numbers. It kind of limits power a little bit, even though he has been getting hit around. Let me see the price. The price on these guys are probably steep. They're always high. Yeah, Gorman 4.7. Maybe a couple of these guys at the bottom, but that is just not worth it. I mean, 14 game slate. I'm not going there, even if McGill's bad. Kind of same story for the Mets. Michaelis is solid, like control pitcher, should limit power pretty well. I think Francisco Alvarez will be my only choice, just because he's catcher. He's shown some upside too. 3.6 is a fair price for him, but outside of that, no Mets for me. Our next game we got Rockies Braves, 3.94 total for the Rockies, 6.56 for the Braves. The Nelson Lamet 5K versus Jared Schuster 6.5K. No shot we're taking Lamet here in this spot. He's let's see, I guess he's been better. He was better that last start against Padres. Only gave up 2 runs, but no interest here against the Braves, especially 86 degrees, wind blowing out. No shot. As for Schuster, he's certainly interesting. We got a few guys around the 6K range. Rich Hill 6.7K, Brian Wu 5.4K, and then we got Schuster here 6.5. I think it's definitely a good K matchup for him. His strikeouts have been lower than I expected this year for sure, though. But I mean, we've seen 2 days in a row. Wednesday, Whitlock had like 7 or 8 strikeouts versus the Rockies. Smith Shawver had a good game against the Rockies last night, so I wouldn't be surprised if Schuster got some ownership. But look at these numbers. Walk rates are just ridiculous too. You certainly don't want to see that, but I mean, these K numbers, obviously the low sample size for these bottom 3 hitters, but they're certainly showing high Ks right now. I think Schuster would be my favorite pick over like Hill and Wu right now, but it certainly comes with risk with this weather. 85 degrees, 10-mile-per-hour wind blowing out, and it's not going to take much for Grichuk or Tovar or Diaz to take one deep. So slight interest in Schuster, but I'm going to try to pay up twice above him would be my guess. As for the Rockies hitters, he's limited power versus both sides pretty well. I'd lean more just on the hitter stats. Diaz surprisingly bad versus lefties. Kind of surprising seeing that. yeah, he's done well versus righties, so maybe out on him. Tovar has been solid. Tovar and Grichuk, I think, would be the only two I'd consider. Really don't even think, even a mini stack is in play. Schuster might gain some ownership, so I think just take one of these guys. Tovar or Grichuk could be a good play. As for the Braves, it's going to be your top stack on the day again. Getting these terrible Rockies pitchers in good weather. Going to make for a great spot. You can see Lamette's numbers here. Absolutely terrible, especially against lefties. I think Olsen's price is ridiculous though. Where's he at? 6.3K. Yeah, a little bit crazy. But I mean, the numbers suggest that he's worth that tonight. So if you play the Braves, you're probably gonna have to pay down for Wu or Schuster or Hill or something like that. So that's gonna have to be a decision you make. If you wanna play the Braves, you're gonna have to get a little bit cheaper at pitcher. But I mean, anybody is in play, 1 through 9. Garcia hadn't shown much power versus righties, so maybe he's the odd man out. Harris been on fire, but if I sort that by the last 30 days, he'll completely turn around. Yeah, much better. Garcia is still not showing much versus righties this year, so. But yeah, anyone is in play. Whatever you can afford, whatever you can fit in there. Just try your best to make it work. So, our next game we have Blue Jays Rangers, 4.56 total for the Blue Jays, 3.94 for the Rangers. Kevin Gausman, 11.2K versus Martin Perez, 6.2K. Price is kind of steep on Gausman, 11.2K. We just saw him flop last time out. Versus the Twins, I will say I think of these 6 runs, like 4 of them were in the first inning before he even recorded an out. So he still stayed in there and battled for a few more innings. I prefer, let's see what the Rangers lineup shows. I feel like they're worse versus righties, so Gausman he's in consideration, but I completely understand that price is steep. Joe Ryan, 10.6K versus the Tigers, a lot easier to click. But I mean, the K rates for Gausman are still there, 34.2%. You can see it's going to be high risk, high reward. If Gausman goes out and gets shelled again, I wouldn't be surprised if Gausman goes out, 7 innings, 10 Ks. I wouldn't be surprised at that either. So just know what you're getting yourself into. I think Gausman will be lower owned than Ryan, so it'll be just a good pivot if you end up playing Braves, or I don't know, maybe the Pirates are high owned. First Tehran. But if you end up on something chalky and you need a pivot from Ryan and you have the salary, I think Gausman is a good tournament play, but it certainly carries some risk. As for Perez, no interest here. He kind of falls in a weird price range. I think he's 6.2K. His strikeout, he has low strikeout numbers. The Blue Jays team has low strikeout numbers. So I think I'm just going to be out. A 16% K rate for Perez. Wow, sub 15% for the Blue Jays. Yeah, absolutely no shot. I'm playing Perez tonight. All right, as for Blue Jays bats, look at last year's numbers from Perez. That's crazy. He's not even close to that this year. Certainly worse versus righties. He's going to see a lot of them. Vlad's numbers are just absolutely terrible versus lefties this year. That's surprising. Kirk's numbers are surprising. Jansen, he's in there. Certainly like him. He had 2 homers for me yesterday. I think maybe a mini Bichette, Chapman. I can see Merrifield, Jansen. Vlad, I might just have to wait and see. I mean, he's just pounding the ball probably straight into the ground is what it looks like. With that low of ISO numbers, I mean, you're gonna have to pay up for him. So I could see just maybe Chapman, Jansen, and then if you can afford Bichette, that's kind of all I have interest in. As for the Rangers bats versus Gausman, I don't really think you're getting leverage because I don't know if Gausman's going to carry too much ownership. If you want to play, some bats, I mean, I'm never going to argue with Simeon, Seager, and Garcia. I mean, but you're kind of with 14 game slate, you're kind of taking a risk that's not really necessary. I mean, there's still 6K. So I just don't see it. Just don't play Gausman if you're not sure of him. I think playing the Rangers is probably a little too much. Our next game, we got Tigers Twins. No total yet in this one. Tyler Alexander, 5.2K versus Joe Ryan, 10.6K. No interest in Alexander. He pitched 4 days ago, 3 innings versus the Braves. I don't know if that was a relief appearance or what, but going to be out on Alexander here versus Twins. Joe Ryan's probably your top pitcher today, 10.6K. Versus the Tigers, in a great spot. We've been burnt by the Tigers several days in a row, though. They got the Strider a few days ago. They got the Sonny Gray last night. So, I mean, it's baseball. It doesn't come without risk. You can see his K percentage this year. He's been dominating righties. Should say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 righties. So definitely like to see that. Their K rates are up for the Tigers as well. So I think Ryan's your top pitcher on the slate, and I'd feel comfortable going back there. Hopefully people are scared off with how the Tigers knocked up Sonny Gray a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it here in this spot. For Tigers bats, just no thanks. I mean, fading Ryan will probably be different enough. There's no reason to force a Tiger in there, anything like that. As for the Twins, was Alexander's a lefty. Solano going to be a good platoon guy that run out there. Correa obviously carries a lot of upside every time he's out there. So the Twins are in consideration, I would say. If Michael Taylor batted close to the top, I'd like to see that. But I don't think I'm getting to the full stack here. Royce Lewis 0% ISO against 0 ISO against lefties. You would hope that would change, but K rate's crazy high. Yeah, I think the K rates are high enough on this Twins line to kind of scare me away. I think just play Correa or Solano would be fine. Correa 4.3K, that's probably too cheap for him. I mean, he's better than that. So I like Correa, but that's probably about it. They're projecting Buxton back in there as well. That'll be interesting to see. He's in there. Let's see, what's his price? 5K. I could see going to mini stack if he's in there, but I might still be out on the full stack. Our next game we got Reds Astros, 3.7 total for the Reds, 4.8 for the Astros. Andrew Abbott 7.1K versus JP France 7K. Abbott's been pretty good since he got called up. Just a tough matchup here. See the K rates for the Astros are crazy low outside of a couple hitters. Altuve, I wouldn't expect that to continue. He's still trying to kind of get his feet back under him. Abbott dominates lefties. Well, only faced 5 of them, but been good versus lefties. I don't know if he's allowed to hit. 0% ISO, 0% WOBA. But he's only going to see one lefty, and that's Kyle Tucker, who's good lefty. So just no interest in Abbott. Play Hill, Schuster, Wu, one of these other guys before you play him. All right, as for JP France, I think he's interesting in the spot. Let's see what he's done in the last few games. 7K is a nice price for him, I think. Let's see. Yeah, he's been consistently over 15, 5 of his last 6 starts, 6 of his last 7 starts. So I think he's certainly in play here. The Reds have higher strikeouts, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 25% K rate for the Reds. You might have to double check. Luke Maile might not be in there. Kind of got to see what lineup they roll out. France actually better versus lefties. He's only going to see 2, it looks like, De La Cruz and Benson. But I think France is in play at 7K. It's kind of in a sweet spot where it'd probably be okay. That's probably about as low as I would go, I think. I don't have too much interest in Hill, Schuster, and Wu. I think France might kind of be the bottom of where I would go. As for the Reds, though, they certainly can, or Friedel's a lefty too, but as for the Reds, they certainly can get to France. Really, really bad versus righties. Some of their best hitters. Well, it's De La Cruz and Friedel are lefties, so they should kind of counter that lefty split for France. But these righties are the ones that are in play, especially India and Steer. I'd be okay with either of them. Prices are kind of steep, but if you want to, mix and match, De La Cruz 5.1K is creeping up there pretty high. So I think I'd be okay even playing the Reds without De La Cruz. Certainly doesn't sound fun. You'd love to have him on your team. But I think, I guess my only problem looking at it, the full stack is going to be so expensive. Way more expensive than it should be for the Reds. So maybe just, like I said, maybe just take India or Steer or something like that if you want to. As for the Astros, I mean, they're certainly always in play. Abbott's been a good pitcher though. So yeah, I really don't have interest. You can see here he's still limited power versus lefties too, or sorry, versus righties. I think I'm probably out. Brady's been playing well the last 30 days, but I finally turned around. Finally got a home run or two. So I could see going to Brayu, but that's probably it. Maybe Diaz if you need a cheap catcher. But I think I'm probably on the Astros. I have enough respect for Abbott that I'm not. I mean, just take the Braves or something. I mean, there's no reason to take the Astros. All right, next game we got Pirates Brewers. 4.12 for the Pirates, 4.38 for the Brewers. Rich Hill 6.7K versus Julio Teheran 8.3K. So Rich Hill is certainly an interesting case today. The Brewers have been terrible versus lefties this year. We've seen Rich Hill pull out these 20 plus performances multiple times this season. So I think he's in play for sure. I think I'd rather go there than Schuster. I think at the time I said Schuster over Hill. But looking at it now, I think I'm back on board with Hill. These K rates are just so high for the Brewers against lefties. They got Urias back. That should help. I mean, they're going to run out some of these guys that just aren't very good hitters overall. They either have low K rates, like Urias, but without much power, or vice versa. Even if they do have power, they strike out a lot, like Weimer. Doesn't feel good. Like I said, hopefully I can just play two pitchers from France and up, but Hill is certainly in the mix. Brewers have been struggling versus lefties all year, so that might change a little bit. Like I said, with Urias back, low K guy, but might just have to wait and see. Might just have to prove it first, I guess. On the other side, no interest in Teheran. I don't know how he's been skating by this year. He's had good performances, but at 8.3K, not interested. If he was lower, then possibly. But I mean, even he's been hanging on for dear life, and he's still, only getting 20 points. So I don't expect anything more than that, even on a good day. As for the Pirates bats, I mean, it's just a matter of time. I feel like before Teheran just gets blown up. Hard hit percentages are crazy right now. Fly ball percentage is super high versus lefties, and the ball's just not going over the fence. So yeah, BABIP versus righties is 0.2. That'll change. I think the Pirates are certainly in play. They're way more affordable than any of the other top stacks we've talked about. Really, just the Braves in comparison to the Braves, I guess. Love these lefties though here in this matchup. Makano, Reynolds, Sawinski especially, then Bays, a stolen base upside guy, and then mix and match whatever you need to make it work. But I really like the Pirates here. I think they'll probably be popular though, just because the price tags allow you to pay up twice for pitching. For most teams that pay up twice, they're going to end up on the Pirates probably. But I think for good reason. I'll certainly have a few of them in there. Sawinski probably being the top one. Over on the Brewers side, I mean, if Rich Hill gets ownership and you think this is the day they finally learn how to hit left-handed pitching, then I don't have any problem with that. Just gonna get the control bar to work. Might not take the full stack though. I feel like Rich Hill's decent enough at kind of limiting that. But he certainly can be attacked with righties. That'd be Weimer, Contreras for me. Thomas is way better versus righties. Kind of a reverse splits guy. So I think Weimer, Contreras is where I'd go. 2.9K. If Weimer does bat in the 2-hole, I do like that. And then yeah, Contreras, you can play him versus anybody, no matter the price. So kind of be my only interest, especially if Hill gets ownership and you decide not to go there. I could see pairing those two guys that's kind of a mini stack. Our next game we got Angels Royals 5.15 total. The Angels 4.35 for the Royals. Patrick Sandoval 7.1K versus Brady Singer 6.1K. Looks like we have 87 degrees here in this spot. A little bit of wind blowing in though, but it is warm. For Sandoval, I'm probably out. His Ks are just way down this year. You can see there are a ton of just like single digit points in the last month. Kind of had a few decent ones to start the season. I can pull it up real quick. His Ks are way lower than they were last year. Decent matchup here against the Royals. 15% K rate. But I'm just no interest there. I mean, we know the Royals have have some K upside here, especially now that these got these guys batting at the bottom of the order. But they certainly have the power upside too. So I think I'm just going to be out. This weather doesn't help. I'm at 80+ degrees. So I'm just going to be out on Sandoval, I think. As for the Angels bats against Singer, I think I'm probably going to be out on Singer. He just hadn't shown much this year either. Certainly should be better. The 6.1K is interesting. Angels lineup, Rendon got hurt, Urshela got hurt, Neto got hurt. I think Drury finally served his suspension, so you might get some crazy lineup. 6.1K, I guess Singer probably has more upside than well, he's definitely not safe, but he has, I think, 30-point upside more than Hill and Schuster. You can see here against Colorado a few games out, he finally had a good start. It is high risk, high reward with Singer, I think. I think he's going to go virtually unowned here in this spot, but the more we look at it, I think he's in consideration. Schuster and Hill would be the safer plays, but if you want to get crazy, if you play the Braves or something, if you play 5 Braves and 3 Pirates and Joe Ryan, you need a off the board cheap pitcher. I think Singer could be that for you. If you don't go Singer, which I'd be shocked if you did, these Angels are certainly in play. You can see here, really struggling versus lefties this year. Even last year when he did well, he was still struggling versus lefties. I think that puts Ohtani and Matt Tice in play. I'll be out on Walsh. Drury and Trout have good numbers, righty, but I think I kind of trust Singer enough to kind of limit these righties. So I think really just Ohtani. I mean, that's the easy answer, but he's just crushing the ball right now, so I think he's in play for sure. The Royals on the other side should be kind of off the board cheap stack. I'm going to talk up the Royals any chance I get. I guess the only problem is the ISO numbers for Sandoval are low, so it's kind of limiting. Yeah, you can see a really high ground ball pitcher, so that kind of turns me a little bit. I think that'll take me off the full stack just seeing those numbers. It really just puts me on Witt and maybe Melendez. Looking to see if any of these guys are high fly ball hitters. Yeah, Witt Melendez I think is the only place I'd go. Salvy's probably just too expensive, and he's really struggling versus lefties this year. So some pairing of Witt Melendez I'd be fine with. Outside of that, I'm probably out. All right, let's keep it going here. We got next game Guardians Diamondbacks, 3.62 total for the Guardians, 4.3 for the Diamondbacks. Tristan McKenzie, 8.6K. Zach Gallen, 10.2K. McKenzie's certainly interesting. He came out, I think he had just one start. No, he's had 2 starts this year. First time out versus Twins, dominated. 10 Ks in only 5 innings, but only 5-2 versus Astros. And a 5-run outing. Here against the Diamondbacks, definitely a tougher matchup. Price is nice, I guess, at 8.1K. That's certainly not an overpay, or 8.6K, sorry. Certainly not an overpay for him, but I think I'm probably just going to be out. He's about a 26% K rate guy. Looking at his last year stats, it's just a low K matchup versus the Diamondbacks. You can't really walk them, or they'll make you pay. So I think I'm probably just going to be out. Even last year when he was pitching so well, he was only averaging 90 pitches. Yeah, so I think I'm probably just going to be out on McKenzie. Gallen here, coming off a bad start. He's kind of had a bad month or so, if I'm not mistaken. Him and Strider both were looking unhittable, and it kind of fell off. Yeah, he got hit around by the Tigers again, but they hit around everybody, I guess, these days. The Gallen would be, I think he'd be a pivot off Ryan. But I think, I think I'd rather even go like Alcantara or McClanahan or Michael Kopech or Galsman or one of those guys before Gallen. So I think I'm probably going to be out. That probably leaves Gallen. If I'm that low on him, that probably leaves him fairly low owned. Here in Arizona against a low K team, I think I'm probably just out. I could see him doing well, but I think I'll just take my chances elsewhere right now. The Guardians bats, Ramirez is still super cheap. Yeah, 4.7K is way too cheap for Ramirez. I think I prefer Josh Bell over Naylor right now. Bell's hitting well. Jimenez is not doing good versus righties. I think just Ramirez and Bell are my only, really only plays there. Diamondbacks don't really think they're necessary here. McKenzie's going to be unowned, so you could take a shot, on Carroll or Walker, Marte too. I'd include him there. Marte, Carroll, or Walker. Price is kind of tough, so you're paying up for somebody against a pretty solid pitcher. It's kind of just a pitch count thing with McKenzie. Pitch count and low K matchup for him is why we're not playing him, but I don't necessarily say we have to play the Diamondbacks either. So I could see chasing a few guys here or there, but don't have too much interest in the full stack. McCarthy's a stolen base chance every time he plays, so that's why you see his points projection high. So if you need a cheap one-off outfielder and chase a stolen base, I'd be fine with McCarthy. Our next game, we got Phillies A's, 4.65 total for the Phillies, 3.85 for the A's. Taijuan Walker, 7K. JP Sears, 6.8K. Just saw Taj Bradley had like 11 Ks or something against the A's on Thursday. Taijuan Walker's just so up or down. Going into a good ballpark. Man, I just don't like playing him. I feel like every time I play him, he gets wild and starts walking people. I think I'd rather go France. They're the same price. So I guess that's where I was staying. Yeah, sub 20% K rate, high walk rate. So I think I'm probably out on Walker. As for Sears, there's no reason to take him here against the Phillies. I mean, he's a fine pitcher, but I mean, you're taking a lot of risk here taking him against the Phillies. So I just don't think it's necessary. I'd rather just play Walker on the other side at $200 more. Phillies bats. JP Sears, sorry. A lot of high power numbers for righties. I think I'd be out on the lefties. Schwarber and Harper both, especially Harper. Schwarber's pretty solid lefty, but these numbers are enough to make me come off. It's not a fluke. It looks like his ISO numbers are really low versus lefties last year as well. I think Castellanos, Turner, Real Muto, Bohm are in play. Any mix of those guys. I think full stack, I guess, is in play as well. I wouldn't hate it. But just grabbing, let's see the prices on those guys. I think grabbing, one or two of these guys would be fine. Turner, Castellanos, Realmuto, Bohm. I could see those guys will be in consideration for me, but even if I'm not playing the Philly stack. As for the A's, I mean, they are certainly in play here. Walker can get blown up quick. They're going to be super cheap. Probably right there with the Pirates and Royals is like the cheapest value. I think the A's will probably be unowned. I guess I'll have a good A's. So I think they have enough speed power combo to get to Walker. I'm probably going to be out on the full stack. I think if I played like the Braves, I could use 3 A's or something to make it unique. Ruiz has low power numbers and all that, but I mean, you're banking on, you're hoping for 2+ steals with him. Notice Seth Brown are good plays. Blades got good numbers, but I think I'd just stay top of this order. These first 3 guys, 1 to 3 of these guys, I think will be okay. But look at these prices, super nice. If you paired them with an expensive team, I'd be fine coming here for some cheap secondary pieces. All right, 3 games left. We're getting there. All right, next one is Rays Padres. 4 total for both teams. Shane McClanahan 11K, Yu Darvish 8.1K. Don't really have a lot of interest in McClanahan. We don't get to play him much just because I feel like the Rays are always on like that early slate or whatever. He's going to be around 20 pitches. That's or 20 points. But I don't know if the full upside's there. I think I'd rather just take a chance on like Gausman or someone like that. Just since he's so expensive. Pretty low K numbers. For the Padres, I would not expect Juan Soto 30% K rate versus lefties to continue. And then even Grisham and Cruz carry high strikeout totals and Cronenworth, but they do have some power in there too. So I think I'm probably just gonna be out on McClanahan. I mean, he'll be probably the lowest owned expensive guy. Maybe so if you want to take him as a leverage play, that'd be fine. But I think I'm probably out. Darvish on the other side, I really like him, especially at his price, 8.1K. If he was up there with the other aces, I'd be more doubtful here, but he does have some upside. this Rays lineup has a lot of strikeouts in it. They have a ton of power, but they have a lot of strikeouts. We just saw Paul Blackburn get like 8 or 9 Ks against these guys yesterday. You can see Darvish still continue to have a high K rate. He's going to see a lot of lefties in here, the way the Rays run platoon splits, which only helps Darvish, almost 29% K rate versus lefties. I really like Darvish here. I think pairing him and Ryan together might be popular, but I think it gives you great upside with decent floor. I think even if Darvish gives up 3 runs or so, I could still see him getting like 7 Ks or something in this matchup. So really like Darvish. As for the Rays, I'm probably gonna be out. Someone could hit a homer off Darvish, but in this ballpark, I just don't think it's worth it. We have 14 game slate, so if you want to take someone like Wander Franco or a Rosarena or Siri or something as just a complete leverage play, I guess that works. But I don't have any interest. The Rays are usually pretty expensive too, so yeah, I'm gonna be out there. Padres, I think I'm out as well. McClanahan's more of a price thing than anything. You can play Tatis if you want. He's always in play for sure. McClanahan is a little bit worse versus righties, but still pretty good. Woba 283 versus righties, so you could play Tatis, but 6.5K, that's probably not worth it. I mean, you'll probably just pay for Acuna or Ohtani or Trout or something like that before you pay for Tatis. All right. As for next game, we got Giants Dodgers, 4.41 total for the Giants, 5.09 for the Dodgers. We got the Brebbia Manaea combination here for the Giants. I'm going to be out on both of those guys. I think they'll both do well, decently, in real life for the Giants, but this combination that we've seen multiple times, and Brebbia will probably get 2 innings, Manaea will get 3 to 5, and after that it'll just be the rest of the bullpen. So going to be out there. Looks like Emmett Sheehan getting a call up, I think, from like AA or something for the Dodgers. But he's not in the player pool, so it's not worth talking about. I guess let's say we're gonna take a guess on the Giants against this guy. I guess that is in play. Giants lefties would be my preference against this guy. I'm not gonna pretend to know anything about Emmett Sheehan though, so I'm really just looking at the numbers here from the Giants. I still just don't like taking the full stack just because you never know what you're going to get. I could see Jock in his return to LA. I could see him doing well. He'll probably get chirped at. It only seems to make him better. So I like Jock and Conforto. They're in the middle, but I'm probably out on the full stack. As for the Dodgers, I'm kind of out on that stack as well. I talked about Brebbia Manaea combination being pretty good. The righty versus lefty kind of makes it hard to target someone specifically. Prices on him are tough. I might have interest in JD Martinez or something, but he's 5.3K. Freeman Betts over 6K, so I think I'm probably just going to be out on the Dodgers completely. If you want to get someone like Chris Taylor or something, that's fine, but his ownership might be higher than necessary since he's coming off the Grand Slam last night. You see bad numbers for Fridays. Let's see if we can change it to Manaea. That's not Manaea. You say high K percentage this year, but he is getting hit around pretty good by righties. Taylor's not doing good. So yeah, you can take a shot here, but I don't have any interest. This combination of Brebbia, Manaea, I just try to avoid. You can see Brebbia's been pretty dominant when he's been in there. So I'm gonna be out on the Dodgers. All right, last game: White Sox Mariners. 3.61 total for the White Sox. 3.89 for the Mariners. Michael Kopech 9.3K. There's Brian Wu, 5.4K. Kopech, strikeouts are way up this year. I think he's in a great spot here. Mariners are one of the highest strikeout teams in baseball. That price is good for Kopech, 9.3K. I certainly have interest. Interest here. He has, I would say, pretty good upside. You can see there, 25% K rate. The guys that don't are, 2 of them are Crawford and Caballero, who don't really scare you. So I think it's a high risk, high reward game for Kopech. He should be lower owned than like Darvish or somebody just because of his price. So I think he makes for a good pivot there in the mid range. He's kind of, I guess he'll be between him and Alcantara if you're in this like low 9K range. I think Kopech has higher strikeout upside, so Certainly a low on pivot, but the upside's there for sure with Kopech. All right, as for Brian Wu, he might get some love just because of his price. 5.4K. He's cheaper than Schuster and Hill and some of those other guys. Let's see. Yeah, gave up 6 runs his first time out versus Texas. I think he did a little better last time out. He only went 4 innings though against the Angels. Had 7 Ks. So I mean, I'm probably out. I could see. I feel safer with Schuster or Hill going like 6 innings. I think even if Wu does well, he might. I mean, he might only go 5 or something. He has to do like perfect. I feel like to get through more than 5 innings, which is possible. But this White Sox team has some power, and they certainly can get to him here in the heart of this order. So I think I'm leaning out, but I mean he's the cheapest. If you can't afford, if you stack two expensive teams and you can't afford to even get up to Schuster or Hill, put Wu in there at 5.4K and just let it ride, I guess. As for the White Sox, really don't think I'll take a full stack here. 62 degrees. I'm pretty sure it's an indoor stadium though in Seattle. Maybe just Robert Jimenez or Berger, some combination of those guys. Berger had another home run last night. He's been absolutely on fire. Wu's been really bad versus lefties, but he's really not going to see one. I guess Sheets is in play as well. Decent ISO numbers versus righties. So, I mean, this is super low sample size. So, I mean, might give him 1 home run or something. Versus lefties, 100% hard hit rate versus lefties, 60% versus righties. So yeah, I think a few White Sox are in play. They're certainly going to carry some. There's certainly going to be good leverage if Wu's popular. But I think I might be on the full stack. Just maybe take a home run here with Robert Jimenez or Berger. I like that. As for the Mariners, I don't have a lot of interest in them. I respect Kopech as a pitcher. He's made me a believer now. Let's see. Worst versus righties. I guess I'd put J-Rod in play. Like last 30 days. Klinic's probably going to fall off. So Teoscar's been better the last 30 days as well. So if his price is still really low. Yeah, 2.9K. So I think J-Rod and Teoscar are in play. You're certainly just chasing a home run there with Teoscar at 2.9K. Might go 1 for 4 with 3 Ks and a home run. But it could work for sure. If that's where you end up price-wise for one-off, I think he's fine. I don't mind taking him as a one-off just because, I mean, you're hoping for that home run anyway from one of those guys. All right. I think that does it. As for pitchers, I think Joe Ryan's your top pitcher on the slate. Just kind of say safe, but Tigers have burnt us last few days. But I think he's still in the best spot. Pivots for him would be Gausman, Gallen, and McClanahan. I think I'd prefer them in that order, but kind of just Gausman would be the pivot. I expect him to kind of bounce back. Mid range, we have I think Darvish probably the most popular, 8.1K. Some pivots off that would be Kopech, Bucklehan, I guess Alcantara versus the Nats. Just hope he kind of regains the old form from last year. I think that's probably it there in the mid range. We have JP France, Taiwan Walker at 7K. I think both of them are in play. I prefer France against the Reds, just a little more strikeout upside, and the A's have been a decent offense all year, especially now they're getting guys like Seth Brown in there. And then cheap, I think you'll have to decide between like Rich Hill, Jared Schuster in the 6K range, Brian Wu 5K if you have to go all the way to the bottom. I think Brady Singer could be a complete just off the board play if you end up playing Braves or Pirates or something and need a good pivot. For offenses, I think it's pretty clear Braves are the top offense against Dinelson Lamet. They're going to be expensive, but it's an awesome matchup for them, especially at 86 degrees. I think it's the best weather we saw on the slate. Pirates are interesting. Getting to Ron, is the numbers he's showing this year accurate, or is he the old Tehran that we came to know? I think the Pirates lefties are certainly in play here, and then after that, I think you can really go anywhere. The Angels have some top bats against Singer, Phillies against JP Sears. You could go there. Diamondbacks. I mean, really, I think outside of Braves are the popular expensive stack. Pirates are popular cheap stack. After that, I think you can go wherever you want. I kind of like the Royals and A's as some other cheap stacks. Blue Jays, I mean, really anywhere is going to be favorable ownership if you found something you liked as we went through the slates today. So, all right, hope that helps. You made it this far. I appreciate it. There's a huge slate today. We do have a Discord. Some of the viewers, which kind of the main discussions are usually for like prize picks, underdog. We do talk about the slates a little bit. If there's no video that day, we're still probably talking about it in the Discord. So hit me up on Twitter or on YouTube if you want access to that. It's free. It's just a small community place for us to hang out and just talk about all this stuff. So I hope this helps. Good luck, everybody, and I'll see you at the top.